Hello, everyone, and welcome to the iBUG Cafe. I'm your host, Sree, and this is episode 104. And today is January 14th, 2024. I want to wish everyone a prosperous 2024. And in today's cafe, we're going to take an in-depth look at the Apple's native music app. The app is simply spelled MUSIC. First, before we get started, I want to personally say thank you to each of you for attending the cafe in person. And for those who will be listening to this cafe on our podcast as well as our YouTube channel, I also want to say thank you. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So the next time that Julie uploads any of our videos, you'll be notified when they're posted. Now it's time for me to introduce someone who I would say has music in her soul, who loves to listen to music and also plays the piano exceptionally well. Our very own Sandhya Rao. What's going on here at iBUG today this week?
Hey, thank you, Sree. Yes, we have a busy week, something every day of the week. Okay, let's get started. All events are on Zoom. All events are on Zoom and all times are central. So, like Sree said, for the next hour and a half, this is our new format. So before it was a 2 hour production, and now we're going to be more focused on one app and really go in depth. You thought we did it in depth before. Now it's going to be even more. All right, so that's for the next hour, 90 minutes. Then tomorrow, iBug Buzz every Monday night from 7 to 9, talking about all things related to your iPhone, peripherals, apps, you name it. We will help you with those issues. And then that's also where we have the big reveal for our movie at the midpoint of the call. So if you're not even interested in technology, you can still come and participate in guessing the movie at 8 p.m. Central. All right, then, but we do hope you come and stick around. Okay, then Tuesday, Mac Buzz. Mac Buzz from 5 to 6. All things relating to your Mac, come there, and even if you don't have a Mac, you can come and ask questions. Wednesday, Android Insight, 7 to 8:30. All your questions related to Android devices, Google platform, the A-Lady, so forth and so on. Lots of good questions, so come there for that on Wednesday. Thursday, Trekkie Talk. I'm on Trekkie Talk from 8 to 9:30. We're doing season 7 of The Next Generation, episodes 18 and 19. So come for that, watch the episode, listen to it, whatever before, and come and discuss it with your fellow Trekkies. Friday, iBug Night at the Virtual Movie starting at 8 p.m. and going to whenever, we're not sure. The social time starts at 7:15, talking about Name That Tune, bad jokes, and general craziness. And after the movie, we have a little bit of we discuss the movie and then trivia about how they made the movie. So that's just this week, all right? So we encourage you to visit our website, ibugtoday.org, ibugtoday.org, to get all this information that I just said. Definitely subscribe, and then you'll get all of the notifications as these events come along. We can listen to our podcasts on our website, on YouTube, and on your favorite podcasting app. We have a Facebook page, we have an X account, and we have an Instagram that is semi-alive, semi-dormant. So we're going to work on that for the new year. And that is the news. Sree, handing it back to you.
All right. All right, Sonia, thank you so much. Definitely check out our website. There's lots of information, as you mentioned. Now it's time for us to go around and introduce ourselves. So I've got an icebreaker question for you. It's very simple. What music app do you listen to? Just let me know the app name. Let me know your name. Sorry, let me know your name, where you're calling from. And if this is your first time here at the cafe, please let me know. So just the icebreaker question is, what is your favorite app that you use to listen to music. And let's go around and introduce yourself.
This is Helene,
Helene, welcome, Helene.
and I do not use any music app, and I am currently in Arizona.
All right, well, welcome.
This is Dan from Southern California, and I use Music, the native Apple app.
All right, welcome, Dan.
Yeah. This is Pete. I'm from Florida, and I use YouTube.
All right, welcome, Pete.
Hey, thanks.
Michelle from Virginia, the Apple Music app, and Amazon Alexa.
All right, welcome, Michelle.
This is Herbie in Houston, and I use the Apple Music app.
All right, welcome, Herbie.
This is Kenny from Missouri. I use the Apple app and the YouTube Music app.
All right, welcome, Kenny.
Hi, this is Farah Rossi. I use Spotify app.
All right, welcome, Farah.
This is Monica. I use YouTube and Apple Music a little bit, and the A-Lady.
All right, well, welcome.
Thank you.
This is Ethel Miranda. I'm in San Diego, California. This is my first time here, and I've used Spotify and YouTube.
And how did you hear about us?
We had a speaker on Tech Docs, Guide Dogs for the Blind.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, welcome.
This is Jake from Michigan,
Hi.
and I use Apple Music.
All right, welcome, Jake.
And I use
Hi, this is Davida from
YouTube.
Virginia, Apple Music.
All right, Davida, thank you.
This is Derek from Texas.
April.
All right, go ahead, Derek.
I use Apple Music and iHeartRadio.
Okay, well, welcome. And who is the other lady on?
Hi, this is HL Chicago, and I use the Apple Music app.
Okay, welcome.
Paul in Columbus,
Mariella Earls.
YouTube.
Okay, Paul, welcome, Paul. Who's the other person?
Mariella Earls, Scottsdale, Arizona, Apple Music.
All right, welcome.
Jenna from Colorado, and Alexa and Radiant for Apple Music.
All right, welcome, Janet.
This is Ned from Texas.
Went through.
Oh, welcome, Ned.
Yes, and I use SiriusXM and iTunes.
Okay.
Sharon from New York. I use Spotify.
All right, welcome, Sharon.
This is Jody in New Hampshire, and I use Pandora and usually on the A-Lady.
All right, welcome, Jody.
Hi, Sree.
Carrie from Arlington
Vanessa
Heights.
from Georgia, and I music, and I use the Lady A.
Okay, and Terry, what is it that you use?
The native music app.
Okay. All right, welcome. All right, who's next?
This is Brian from Ontario, and I use too many of them. I don't want to take away your hour and a half.
Well, what's your favorite?
The most one I use is Spotify.
Okay. Welcome. All right, who's next?
Bridget from Atlanta, the A-Lady.
All right, Richard, welcome. All right, who's next?
This is Tammy from Connecticut. I use Apple Music all the time.
Have you? Is this your first time here?
No, well, it's my first time in this call, yeah, but
Yes.
not my first time here. Yep, I was here the other day in the iBUG mini bus.
And how did you hear about us?
Class with Herbie and Chanel.
Oh, great! Yeah, that's a great class. I attended it.
The math class. Yep.
Yeah, that's a great class. Yes. All right, who's next?
Herbie from Chicago, the A-Lady.
A-Lady. All right, welcome. Anyone else?
This is Sandhya in Houston, native music app.
Native music app. All right, Sandhya. All right, anyone else? Going once.
Michael in Texas, Apple Music and YouTube.
Apple Music. All right, Michael, welcome. All right, anyone else? Going once? Going twice. All right, this is Sree Roy. I'm in Virginia, and I use the native music app. So I got a question for Sandhya, Michael, and Herbie. If you had to guess who's the most played artist in Apple Music in 2023, who would you guess it is? Sandhya, I'll go with you first.
Taylor Swift.
All right, you say Taylor Swift. All right, Michael, who do you think?
I'm gonna go still with the Beatles.
Beatles. Okay, good one. All right, Herbie, what do you think?
The Beatles.
Beatles. All right, and the rest of you, I just want you to think about it and stick around, and you're going to find out who that is in Apple Music. Okay, so today's presentation is broken into two parts. The part one is about 18 minutes, and the second part is about 25 minutes long. So I'm going to go ahead and have Herbie Allen. Herbie, do you have anything you want to mention before we start the presentation?
No, I don't. I will just mention that, I do use the Native Music app a lot. I have used some other apps, so I've done a little bit of comparisons to how some of the other apps work, but I focused a lot more on just how the music app works. And it's a little bit interesting on know where to demo spots, whatever, so I did my best and hope it works for you all. And I'll just say that the music app is a very powerful app, and if you've not explored some of its things, you'll get to learn some new things today.
So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started. And this cafe is being recorded, so if you feel like there's things that you want to go back, you can definitely go back and listen to it. So with that said, and then we'll go ahead and start our presentation. Namaste. This is Sree, and welcome to the iBUG Cafe. Today, I'm very proud to have our very own Herbie Allen. Herbie, who also facilitates our Mac Bites first and third Tuesdays of every month at 5 p.m. Central. He is also our X-Master, aka Twitter Master, and he's going to show each of us how to set the night to music, because he's going to explain how the music app works in great detail. And when that perfect song is being played in the background, you might pretend you're in the center stage singing along to that song, or just bobbing your head or tapping your feet to that perfect beat. Or if you're one of those adventurous person who not only sings, but dances around the house. And that's because each of you set the night to music. Now, before I hand it off to Herbie, I'm going to take a look at some of the benefits to listening to music, as well as looking at the numbers and the history behind the music app. And then I'll turn it over to Herbie, and he's going to talk about the settings and then conclude by taking a look at all the features inside the music app. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and hit the play button and get started. Now let's take a look at some of the benefits to listening to music. According to Johns Hopkins University, the best overall workout for your brain is not trying to say something before Sandhya mutes you, but rather listening to music. Listening to music can reduce stress, pain, anxiety, and depression. Now let's take a look at some of the things that improves when listening to music. Obviously, your mood. Improves your sleep deficiency, and also your focus and memory. Listening to music makes you eat less. Listening to music helps your meditation. Listening to music makes your workout much better. And finally, listening to music just makes you happier. So the next time you're working out your biceps or your core, don't forget to work out your brain by listening to music. Now, let's take a look at some of the fun facts as it relates to the music app. When you purchase a new iPhone, you can find the music app located on the dock on the far right corner. And on June 30th, 2015, the music app was first launched. It currently has more than 100 million songs in its library and offers more than 30,000 different playlists. There are a few different plans inside the music app. At the end of 2023, it is estimated there are more than 88 million subscribers. In 2024, it is projected to reach over 100 million subscribers. And by year 2025, it is estimated there will be more than 125 million subscribers. In the United States, there are more than 32 million subscribers. Now, why is the music app my choice? Well, the audio quality is really good. The music library is very large, and the app interface is relatively easy to use. And I can have the music app installed up to 15 different devices. This includes the iPhone, iPad, Apple TV, Apple Watch, Mac, PC, CarPlay, HomePod, Smart TV, Roku, Android, game consoles, Sonos, Amazon, and Google Nest, and is available in 167 countries. Now let's take a look at some of the finance numbers. Apple Music generated $8.3 billion in total revenue, which is about 6% of total Apple's revenue, and they have about 13% in market share in music. And finally, I'll conclude with some fun facts. 62% are male listeners, while 38% are female listeners, and Apple pays 1 cent per stream. And if you guessed Taylor Swift, you'd be correct, because she was the most streamed artist in 2023. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn it to Herbie, and he's going to demonstrate how to use the music app. So Herbie, take it away.
There are really several different facets to the music app that we could talk about. There is, of course, the basic using iTunes to upload music to your phone from physical files that you have on your computer, which you would access in the library tab, assuming you, of course, have Apple Music. If you do not have Apple Music, then I do not think you have the separate tabs. There's also iTunes Match, which is a subscription-based service. It is about $24 a year, and that lets you upload your music to iTunes, and then it in turn takes it, uploads it to the cloud, and allows you to access it on your phone. Very useful service, by the way. I did use it in the past. And the only reason why I've stopped is because thanks to Apple Music, I have a much better way of getting even more tracks than what I have in my physical library. So then, what if you would like Apple Music? Well, it is very affordable, and it gives you some major bang for your buck. First of all, you have a basic plan that allows you to use Sree only, and that is for $5 a month. I have not used this service myself, but it is definitely something that is affordable. The next one, which I definitely took advantage of during my school days, was the student pricing, which is just $1 more than the voice plan. And you can look into that through a service called Unidays. I'm not going to go into all that on this particular demonstration, but if you are a student, then you can qualify for a discount on your Apple Music. And finally, for the rest of us, there is the $10.99 plan, which is the standard Apple Music plan. It used to be $9.99 or $9.95, something like that. There is also a family plan, which is part of the Apple One bundles and all that. We're not going to go into those pricings, but for an individual, the standard price is $10.99. What do you get for this $10.99? Well, I mentioned a big bang for your buck. So, first of all, you get access to a lot of music. They have, I think it's over 2 million tracks in their library, maybe even more. Other services like Spotify and all that maybe give you the same amount of access, maybe a little bit of differences in the collection. You also get a very well streamlined layout, and I personally think that Apple Music has the best way of navigating a music app compared to some of the others. Now, this is my personal opinion, but I will explain that a little bit more in detail in a bit. But here's where Apple Music really excels and offers some things that others will give you, but for a much heavier price. Lossless music. What is lossless? So by default, when you listen to Apple Music, it's encoded in a bitrate that will lose something in the song. It's not quite as good sounding. Spatial audio lets you hear the song truly as it was meant to be heard, like it was on a CD. But not only that, in addition to lossless, you can also get access to high-res lossless. This goes beyond CD quality and into recording studio quality. And yes, there is definitely a noticeable difference with that, even more so than the lossless. Because you will notice a richer sound with bass and treble and things like that. And the music will be also more spread out. If that's not enough, for AirPod users, you can also get access to tracks that are encoded in Dolby Atmos. And there's nothing more exciting than listening to music in surround sound. I really love the experience. The good news is you do not have to use any of these options if you do not want to. And with that, let's go explore the music app. So before we actually open the music app itself, it's actually worth looking at music and settings because there's a little bit here to customize. So there is no Siri shortcut to get to this, so I've just opened the settings app, and now we're going to swipe right until we get to music.
Music button.
So yes, I did swipe through rather fast with these, but music is such a ways down. We'd be here forever if I let it listen to every little option here. You'll find music next to journal on one side.
TV button.
And if you get to TV, then you've gone too far.
Music button. Allow music to access. Heading.
This is pretty typical of every app now in settings. What can music access?
Siri and search button.
It's useful to allow Apple Music access to Siri, so that way you can use it to find songs.
Notifications. Immediate. Announce button. Cellular data. Switch button. On.
I really like to have my Apple Music have access to cellular data because a lot of times when I want access to music, I am out and about and I don't have it all downloaded to my phone.
Use cellular data for downloads, streaming, updating your library, and loading artwork.
And that explains what the cellular data does, so you can just toggle that on or off with a one-finger double tap.
Library. Heading. Add playlist songs. Switch button. On.
Do you want songs in your playlists added to your library? And the advantage of doing this is you can go to your library tab and search for something and have a much narrower search results option than you would by searching in Apple Music in many cases. You can decide what works best for you.
Add favorite songs. Switch button. On. Add songs to your library when you add them to your playlists or you favorite them. Show star ratings. Switch button. Off.
Do you want to see how people rate the different songs? I personally don't, so I have this feature disabled.
Access star ratings for music saved to your library in the song menu. Using star ratings won't affect your recommendations in Listen Now. Sync library. Switch button. On.
Very useful if you have multiple devices.
Your purchased music, content you add from Apple Music or import to iTunes, and changes you make to your library will sync across all your devices. Audio. Heading.
Audio.
Dolby Atmos. Automatic. Button.
So let's explore Dolby Atmos settings here.
Selected. Automatic.
So I just did a one-finger double tap to get to the button, which gives me different options.
Always on. Off. Play supported songs in Dolby Atmos and other Dolby audio formats. Automatic will play in Dolby Atmos and other Dolby audio formats whenever connected to capable outputs like AirPods, AirPods Pro, AirPods Max, when spatial audio is turned on, and supported Beats headphones or Apple devices.
So that gives you an explanation of how it works.
Play support off. Selected. Automatic.
I have mine set to automatic. I have listened to some tracks encoded in Dolby Atmos on a device that does not support it. It kind of sounded a little bit weird to me, so I prefer the automatic setting myself.
Music. Back. Music. Dolby Atmos. Automatic. Audio quality. Button.
Audio quality. So I hit the one-finger double tap on the back button, and now let's take a look at the audio quality.
Lossless audio. Switch button. On.
Here's that lossless audio I was telling you about. So I mentioned Apple Music is better than the other services. Other providers like Tidal, for instance, make you pay extra for the ability to have lossless audio.
Lossless files preserve every detail of the original audio. Turning this on will consume significantly more data.
That's one thing you do need to know is lossless audio will be larger files and will use more data. I will say that if you're on a 5G connection, you are going to have a pretty decent experience. If you are traveling, sometimes it can be a little bit interesting for files to load, but even that's gotten better over the years. If you are on 4G, it'll be okay when you're stationary. Don't try to use this when you are traveling. That has been my experience in the past with the lossless audio files.
About lossless audio. Link. Cellular streaming. High-res lossless. Button.
So now with the cellular streaming, do you want to allow the high-res lossless? And if you're trying to preserve data or you have a slow connection, maybe not. Let's explore this option.
None.
So you can change it to none.
High efficiency. HEAC with low data usage. High quality. AAC 256 kbps.
That is the standard.
Lossless. ALEC up to 24-bit/48 kHz. Selected, high-res lossless, ALEC up to 24-bit/192 kHz. Lossless streaming will consume significantly more data.
And we're back to the consuming more data.
Audio,
So we're going to go
cellular,
to the back button, which is at the top of the screen.
content downloaded, cellular streaming, high-res lossless, 5G and Wi-Fi streaming, high-res lossless, button.
5G and Wi-Fi streaming, same set of options as before. And you can set it how you want.
Downloads, high-res lossless, button.
Downloads, these are files that you download to your phone, so you might, for instance, want to be able to stream in high-res lossless, but because you've got like a 64 gig phone, you might not actually want to download such large files. So you can customize that to your liking.
Content downloaded previously will continue to play in the originally downloaded resolution. Content downloaded
So
music.
just note that content that you've downloaded previously will not be affected by any current changes that you make. And that can be a little bit frustrating, let me tell you. But, for instance, I've listened to some albums that have been recently made into Dolby Atmos, and I have to reset some of the downloads that I did to get the tracks in that format. So,
music, back, music, audio, your purchased music. Content you add from sync library, switch button, on, EQ, off, button.
So there is an equalizer here. I'm not going to really do much with that, except that there are different options. You've got bass, flat, and different things. I may play with this a little bit later on just to give you an idea of how some of the different things sound. I personally do not like the equalizer that much, but you can use it.
Sound check, switch button, on.
Sound check, I don't even know why that is on. That needs
Off.
to be off. But that's supposed to limit the volume.
Crossfade, switch button, off.
Crossfading songs, I don't necessarily care for that on the phone, but you can have it crossfade songs like it'll sound like you're listening to a regular radio station.
Crossfade is unavailable while using AirPlay.
And crossfade is unavailable while using AirPlay.
Downloads, heading, downloaded music, 4.58 gigabytes, button.
So I can see how much music I've downloaded here, and if I want to go here...
Music, for all artists, for Adventures in Odyssey, downloaded music, heading, edit, button.
And I can edit, and I can even delete here what I've downloaded.
Music, downloaded music, optimize storage, off, button.
Optimize storage is off.
Download over cellular, switch button, on.
And I do download over cellular.
Download in Dolby Atmos, switch button, on.
Now, one thing I want to make sure that I've clarified is not every track is available in Dolby Atmos, but the tracks that are will download in that format.
Automatic downloads, switch button, off. Music automatically downloads for offline listening when added to your library or purchased in the iTunes Store.
I don't want everything that's added to my library automatically downloaded.
Animated art, off, button.
Don't need that.
Playlist, album, and artist pages, album art and now playing, and other animated cover art won't be displayed. Use listening history, switch button, on. Music played on this device will appear in recently played, your replay, influence your recommendations, and if you set up an Apple Music profile, it will be seen by your followers. Shared listening, heading, discoverable by nearby contacts, switch button, on. Allow your contacts to discover you when playing music in the car.
And I've never really played with this, so I'm not gonna really comment, but I'm just letting the phone give its explanations.
Privacy, heading, Apple Music and privacy, button. Home sharing, heading, Apple ID.
Home sharing, I don't know if that's really useful anymore, and so I'm not going to talk about it, but it was a very interesting thing you could do with iTunes back in the day, and that's going to go a little bit beyond the scope of what we're going to talk about here.
This concludes Herbie's first part of his presentation, taking a look at the iPhone settings for the music app. Now we're going to open it up for some questions and comments. Okay, thank you, Herbie, for that presentation on the settings. Now we're going to go ahead and open it up for some questions. The way it's going to work is you're going to state your name. I'm going to call upon you. At that time, I'm going to ask everyone else, stay muted till the conversation comes to an end. And if you did ask a question, please refrain from asking a secondary question so we can give others an opportunity to ask their questions. So we'll go ahead and unmute. And if you have a question, just state your name and I'll call upon you.
Sharon?
Go ahead, Sharon.
Herbie, I'm going to mispronounce the word. You were saying almost or something. I didn't see that in my settings.
Dolby Atmos?
Yes, thank you.
So you were looking in the music settings and you do not see it?
Yes.
What phone do you have?
A 12 mini.
Okay, then yeah, that would support it. So did you follow along exactly like where I was?
I did. Now, I'm not on 17 yet. Is that why?
That shouldn't affect things. Not even because even the oldest 12 iOS on 12 mini would support that.
So how about we do this, Sharon? Why don't we bring that up on the Monday night call? We can kind of guide you through it. No worries.
Sure.
Okay.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Who's next? I do want to mention that the Apple One Family Plus Premium is $37.95 a month. Right. Anyone else have any questions? Herbie, I have a question. You said you listen to a lot of Dolby Atmos and high res. Now, do you I've never listened to it at high res. So you're saying like you can definitely tell the difference when it's a high res?
But yeah, you can definitely tell the difference between the high res and the Dolby Atmos. You do need, like I said, supported devices, which mostly is the AirPods, or there are some Beats models, but you will tell a major difference.
So does the regular AirPods work, or do you have to get the Pro series?
The regular AirPods 2, I forget if they supported. The AirPods 3 definitely do. The AirPods Pro series definitely do, and I want to say that the AirPods 2 definitely. I want to say they support it as well. I know the original AirPods do not. I don't think they do.
Okay. Thank you.
This is Paul.
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, Herbie, could you explain a little bit more about the match option? I know about it, but I think other people might be interested.
So iTunes Match, this has been around since 2012. And the idea behind it is so you pay a yearly fee to Apple. I know when I paid for it, it was $24. It's probably gone up in price now a little bit. So it does two things, actually. So basically what you do is you upload your music to iTunes. So you just go on iTunes and you have to enable iTunes like Match in there and all that type of thing. And you upload your music, and then it'll upload it to the library, and then it just shows up on your phone. So we'll get to the second half of how the Apple Music looks on the when browsing the library tab, but that's what you'd use to access all your content, or you can also use a search tab to find things. And it'll also, in addition to uploading your songs to the library, it'll also encode lower bitrate songs to the iTunes encoding format to 56, making them sound even better if they have a match in the library, for your song. So that's why it's called iTunes Match. Now, what you do need to know about the service is, as with regular iTunes, it reads the metadata of the file, not the actual physical data of the file. And depending on your computer, there's ways to fix all that, and that's going well beyond the scope of here. And yeah, that's basically how iTunes Match works.
All right, thanks, Herbie. All right, who's next?
Arlene.
Go ahead, Arlene.
Herbie, you listed different plans, like $10.99 and whatever.
Yes.
So when you buy a phone and you have the Apple Music app, do you have a plan, or you have to buy a plan?
No, you have to buy it once you get the phone. That's a separate purchase from the phone.
So you can't use Apple Music if you don't buy a plan?
Correct. You'll need to buy a plan. You can use the music app itself on the phone, but you'll need either to use iTunes or iTunes Match. Or you can access purchased content on the music app with no problems. So if you purchased music through iTunes previously, that you'll always be able to access on the phone no matter what. But yes, if you actually want Apple Music, the service, you have to purchase it separately within the app. And if you have not purchased it, I think you go to settings and then music, and you'll see an option to purchase it there.
Also, Herbie, doesn't sometimes when you buy a certain product, Apple throws like a 3-month free trial of Apple Music?
There are some free trials out there. I've definitely seen probably a little bit more lately from Apple promoting like their Apple TV more than Apple Music, but there are sometimes there are ways to get three months of Apple Music or a month of Apple Music, and it just depends on what you buy. And also, you can be on the lookout for promotions like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would definitely encourage you to, anyone listening who doesn't subscribe to it, if you're interested, shop around because I've seen some promos come up. All right, who's next?
Stan Gowan.
Hey, Stan, how you doing?
I'm great. Sorry I was late. Herbie,
okay.
It sounds like you're doing a great job. I want to point out, because it's not just Apple saying, oh, we're going to make the $10 a month. We're greedy. Remember that most of this music that is streamed is licensed from record labels. And the record labels want their money. In addition, the artists get some money when you stream. Now, on an individual song basis, it's not a lot of money. The only artists that make a lot of money for streaming are the extremely popular ones like Taylor Swift and people like that. But it is important to remember that that $10 fee doesn't all go to Apple. I don't know what the percentage breakdown is. I know that it's searchable on the web, but I don't know what it is. But I wanted to be clear that it's just not Apple raking in that $10. It goes to the artist, it goes to the record label, and that kind of thing as well.
Yeah,
so I thought it was fair to point that out. Thanks.
Yeah, that's definitely true. When I was doing the research on this, compared to a lot of streaming music, Apple pays the artist the most, and as I mentioned, they pay about a penny. A lot of the other services pay less than a penny per stream. Who's next?
Pete.
Go ahead, Pete.
Herbie, did I hear you say there's a cheaper plan, a $5 plan?
Yes, so there's two lower plans. One will just let you use Siri to access Apple Music. And there's also a student discount as well if you are in school.
Okay, so the $5 really doesn't give you a plan. It just connects Siri to whatever other plan you've got.
No, the $5 plan just only lets you use Siri with Apple Music. Like, you won't be able to use the music app itself per se. You can use like Siri commands to access Apple Music. It was something that Apple introduced recently.
Okay. So the $10 plan is your starter plan, essentially.
So there's really it's really a matter of, do you want full access to Apple Music or do you just want Siri access to Apple Music where where you have your limitations. So, and then there's the family bundle, which incorporates Apple Music and anything else. But either plan you go with, you get the same. I think even with the Siri plan, you get the Dolby Atmos and all that. I'm not completely sure because, like I said, I've never used the Siri plan myself. But Apple Music doesn't tier its services the way like some other music services do. Because like with Spotify, for instance, you do have a free version, but you get advertising with it. Other music services, if you want the high fidelity music, you have to pay extra. So like in Tidal's case, I think it was like $21 a month. Mm-hmm. If you want all that. But Apple is a lot more straightforward than the other music services. So it's just a matter of, do you want voice control? Do you want full access? Or do you want to bundle your Apple Music with other services?
Okay, thank you.
So Herbie, if you did have the Siri service, could someone just say, hey, play music from Elton John using Siri, and it plays all the Elton John songs?
Yes. So I think it was their thinking was like for people that have home pods that are probably going to use more likely to use this more than anything. But as far as I know, you do get full voice, but you're just limited to how Siri interprets things and whatnot.
Yeah, I would say if you just like to listen to music and you're using Hey Siri, I mean, that's how I mostly listen to the music. So you do have a lot of music. You can listen to it that way at a very inexpensive way of doing it. Who's next?
Michael?
Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah. No, I thought there was a free option, that you could just play like certain stations, or I'm not sure what they call them, channels.
I think you're thinking of the radio part, and I think that is free, yes.
Okay.
But that means that the music is being picked for. It's kind of like Pandora, where.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point too. All right, who's next? Any questions on the settings that we've covered on the music app? All right, going once, twice. All right. So why don't we go ahead and listen to the second part of the presentation? This one is about 25 minutes long. This is where Herbie's going to go in detail, looking at all the settings inside the music app. Herbie, did you have anything else you want to add before we start?
No, I think we've covered everything, and let's roll.
Okay.
Okay, now that we've done all that, why don't we actually open music itself? Open music.
Music, search, heading.
So it took me to the search heading because that's where I was at. But let's start by exploring our tabs at the very bottom, and I'm going to just touch the bottom left of the screen.
Tab bar. Listen now. Tab. 1 of 5.
Listen now. That is where you're going to see recommendations and things like that.
Browse. Tab. 2 of 5.
Browse. This is where you can browse the entire Apple Music catalog. That is a very useful feature at times, actually. For instance, I like to find new things that they have added in spatial audio. And going forward, by the way, folks, I do want to mention that I will use the terms spatial audio and Dolby Atmos interchangeably. So just so you know, they both mean the same thing.
Radio. Tab. 3 of 5.
I personally don't like the radio function myself, but it is there, and we will look at it in a little bit here.
Library. Tab. 4 of 5.
Library, these are things that you've downloaded to your personal library.
Selected. Search. Tab. 5
and notice
of 5.
it said selected search. This means that I am actually pointed to the search tab. This is the one that I am on. The default app in your iPhone, it's always going to say the tab that you're pointed to as the term selected.
Listen now. Tab. 1
so
of 5.
So let's take a look at our Listen Now tab.
My account button.
So the first thing is My Account. Here's where you can make adjustments to your account and things like that.
Top picks. Heading. Featuring the Beatles. The Beatles and similar artists station button.
So now it's giving me a recommended
posing
station.
For a photo in a circular frame. Apple Music.
And notice it's describing the photo.
New release. Nearer, My God, to the arranged James L. Stevens single, Peter Hollins and BYU Vocal Point, 2023 button. A book cover with text and an image of a person wearing a suit and standing in a body of water. Nearer, My God, to the Peter Hollins featuring BYU Vocal Point.
What if I wanted to take a look at this new release? Well, let's do that.
Nearer, listen now.
So I just did a one-finger double tap.
Add to library button.
I can add it to my library.
More button.
There's a more, and I'll come back to that in a minute.
Nearer, My God, to the arranged James L. Stevens single.
And now it's telling me the album, which in this case is a single.
Peter Hollins and BYU Vocal Point button.
That's the artist. And if I double tap that button, it's going to take me to the artist profile page.
Gospel, 2023, Lossless.
So it's telling me that it's the gospel and it was released in 2023 and it's saying lossless. Now, Lossless sometimes can be used interchangeably here with lossless and high res, but either way.
Play button.
There's a play button.
Shuffle
The
button.
play button, if there was an album, it would play the entire album from the beginning.
1. Nearer, My God, to the arranged James L. Stevens, Peter Hollins.
And we just have one
3
track
minutes,
here.
11 seconds, button.
So I can see how long
Actions
the track
available.
is. If I want to play it, I can just do a one-finger double tap.
1. Nearer.
Now with my setup, we are not going to actually hear any music today, but otherwise it would have actually worked. So remember I said at the beginning of this that Apple Music had one of the nicest ways of handling extra things you can do to your tracks. On other music services, you might have options next to the track, but on Apple Music, what's really nice is we get to see everything in a nice little row.
Paused. 1. Nearer. Popular track. 2. Nearer. December 22nd.
Alright, so there's only 2 tracks in here. So I can now do several things here with this track. I can swipe down, so let's just do that.
Playing next.
So if I double tap that, then that'll tell the song to play next.
Playing last.
Play last.
Add to library.
And I can add it to library.
More.
And there is more.
Drag item.
I can drag it.
Activate default.
And go back to activate. Something else I want to explain here. So remember when we had the add to library and more button at the beginning of the thing there. So what is the difference between that and what we were just doing with the track now? So if you were to use those add to library or more buttons, it would affect the entire album, whereas I'm doing the same process but just for an individual track. Now there is an easier way to get to more, and that is by doing a single finger triple tap.
Preview. Album artwork.
So I can preview the album artwork.
Nearer, My God, to the arranged James L. Stevens. BYU Vocal Point and Peter. Nearer, My God. View credits. Button.
So I can view the album credits.
Add to library.
Again,
button.
add it to library.
Add to a playlist.
I can now add it to a playlist. And I'll show you that in a little bit.
Play next. Button. Play last. Button. Share song. Button.
Share song. So this does not actually share the physical copy of the song. It just shares a link.
Create station. Button.
I can create a radio station with this song.
Favorite. Button.
Favorite it.
Suggest less. Button. Dismiss context menu. Button.
And there you go. So what if I wanted to add this to a playlist for an example? Let's do that.
Add to a playlist. Button. Cancel. Button.
So now I can do this.
Add. Find in playlists. Search field. New playlist. Button.
I will say that creating a new playlist from this window is not always the most reliable, so I don't do it that way if I'm going to create a new playlist.
Recents. Head. 0. Button. Adult. 5. Button. 4. Alt. Acapella praise originals. Button. Acapella praise. Button.
So now I can see all my playlists. It showed me recent ones that I have added to.
Acapella Spotify. Button. Acapella Christmas. Button. Acapella favorites.
And these
button.
are ones that I have created, by the way, these playlists. So I'm going to add it to this one.
Pause. 1.
And there you go. I have now added it to a playlist.
Image. A group of people paused.
Okay, that's nice. So let's go back up to the top here.
Listen now. Back button. Listen now. Heading.
And I was showing you all the listen now headings, so that gives you an idea there. Let's do our heading navigation and go to our next heading.
Heading not found.
Not the most
My
reliable,
account.
unfortunately.
Button. Top pick. Heading not feature. The new release. Nearer. Made for you. Friends mix. Morgan Wallen. Travis. Made for you.
So these are things that for you based on your listening history.
Herbie Allen Station. Button. New release. What's so funny about Peace, Love, and Understand featuring Nathan Carter and Made for You. Discovery Station. Recently played. Button. Nearer. My God. Starlight Express. With all my heart.
So now I can see different things that I have played.
Heading not
now,
found.
Really
Character word.
like
Speaking rate.
the fact
audio
that
ducking.
headings...
Screen recognition. Headings. Heading not found. Recent. Heading not found.
I really don't like that the headings don't work on here because it does make it harder to find things. Because there's other sections on here too, like you can see what your friends are listening to and things like that.
With all my heart, let's stay together.
So let's see if I can do a page up gesture.
Page 4 of 12. Discovery Station. Button. Page. It's a great day to be alive.
And no. So that's pretty much it for the Listen Now tab. If we go to the bottom, though.
Mini player. Next track. Button.
I do need to talk to you about the mini player.
Play. Near. Vertical scroll bar. 1980s. Heading. Let me be your angel. The Sheena Easton is true.
And notice the focus jumped on here a little bit. So let's talk about the mini player. Because there is some things it can do.
Tap. Mini play. Nearer. My God.
So if I want to bring up the actual mini player, I can double tap with a one finger.
Nearer. Dismiss now playing screen. Button.
And now I've got what is called a now playing screen.
Nearer. My God. To the arranged. J. Peter Hollins. Button. Favorite. More. Button.
So we got our favorite. More button.
Track position. 9 seconds of 3 minutes. 11 seconds.
Now we can have a track position here. Now you can also use the lock screen to rewind and fast forward within a track. But you can also do it from now playing.
Lossless. Button. Previous track. Not set. Button. Play. Button. Next track. Button. Volume. 62%. Adjustable. Lyrics. Dim. Button.
So in this case, we do not have any published lyrics. However, I will show you a song later on that does, and you can see how well those work. And I just have to say that I actually do love the lyrics feature on Apple Music. It works really well.
Previous track. Not play. Lyrics. Dim. Playback.
Okay, lost focus. Playback destination, so you can change the playback destination if you want.
Airplay. Selected. System. Bedroom. Home. Herbert's Mac Mini. Show more. Control other speakers and TV. Button.
So there's things you can do with other things. And
system capture. Nearer. System capture. Nearer.
We're going to
Herbert's Mac. Dismiss pop-up.
To get to the dismiss pop-up, you kind of have to slide up a little bit on the left-hand side.
System capture. Dismiss now playing screen. Button.
All right, let's dismiss our now playing screen.
Dismiss now. Search. Heading.
And let's take a look at some of our other tabs now.
Tab bar. Browse. Tab. 2 of 5.
Okay, let's go here. So that is on the bottom of the screen, kind of like, well, a little bit to the left of, to the right of the center, like to the, or rather to the right of the left part of the screen. But I'm going to show you how this one works.
My updated playlist. A-list pop. Apple Music pop. Listen to Tate McRae's X's and Greedy in spatial audio. Button.
So this one gives us a playlist description, and it tells us that it's updated too.
Up next, Tizo Touchdown is carving his own lane within the music industry. Button. Updated playlist. Rap Life. Apple Music Hip Hop. Drake and J. Cole make history together once again. Button. 2 people posing for a photo in front of a black and white background. Drake and J. Cole make history together once again.
So what you are seeing are playlists that are created by Apple Music, and there's a lot here, so you can explore this more for yourself, but I just wanted to show you what is under the Browse tab.
Mini player. Tab bar. Radio. Tab. 3 of 5.
Radio is next. And this is where you get to hear actual live stations put together by Apple Music. And I'll just give you an idea here.
Music 1. Program schedule. Button. Apple Music 1. The new music that matters. Live. 19 to 23:0. The Apple Music 1 list. Here are current obsessions and new discoveries making waves. Play. Apple Music hits. Songs you know and love. Live. 21 to 22:0. Pure throwback. An amped-up time capsule from the turn of the 2000s. Program schedule.
And we do have a program schedule.
Program. Radio. Back button. Apple. Schedule. Heading. Live. 21 to 22:0. Pure throwback. An amped-up time capsule from the turn of the 2000s. Button. 22 to 23:0. Easy hits radio with Sabi. Unwind to timeless hits from Usher, Leona Lewis, and more. Button. Actions available. An illustration of a person posing for a photo next to text. Apple Music.
And if you wanted to play any of these, of course, you would just hit the play button on that previous screen. Let's move on. We got 2 more tabs to explore.
Tab bar. Library. Tab. 4 of 5.
The library. This is a very interesting one. You're basically going to find all the things that you have added to your music library.
At library. Heading.
But you do have different categories here.
My account. Button. Playlists. Button.
So you can see the different playlists you've added.
Artists. Button.
Artists.
Albums. Button.
Albums.
Songs. Button. Downloaded. Button. Recently added. Heading.
And it's going to default to recently added.
Nearer, my God. Smells like, ellipsis, White Christmas. Single, Footloose. Single, With All My Heart, Amira, button.
Okay, let's see here.
Get Lucky, Loverboy, button. Get Lucky, Library.
Let's take a look at this song and let's see if it has lyrics for us to look at.
Get Loverboy, pop, play, shuffle. Popular track.
Now you will not hear the music because of the way my system is set up here, but
rate list mini player. Next track. Play system capture. Working for the week. System dismiss.
Okay, so now we've got Working for the Weekend, the song that is going to definitely have published lyrics.
Working love fate more. Track lost pod.
So you remember the previous screen with the lost list and all that?
Lyrics button.
Ah, now we have a lyrics button that is not dim.
Selected. Lyrics dimmed.
So now I'm just going to swipe to the right.
Playback destination. System cap playing system capture.
And it's not going to show them there, but if we go to the
Dismiss.
top.
Love favorite. Lover more.
So I'm at the more button right now, so what we're going to do is swipe to the right.
Everyone's watching to see what you will do. Button. Everyone's looking at you. Oh, button. Everyone's wondering will you come out tonight? Button. Everyone's trying to get it right. Get it right. Button. Everybody's working for the weekend. Button. Everybody wants a new romance. Button.
And I don't know why it's saying button.
Selected. Everybody wants a new romance.
Okay, so anyway, you get the idea. So just by swiping, you can look at the lyrics line by line. That is pretty cool. So let's say you want to know the lyrics to a song, or you're doing karaoke or something like that. And now we're going to dismiss the screen. Now, I showed you all earlier how to add a song to a playlist, but I have not yet gone into how to actually create a playlist. So let's take a look at that. Okay, now what if you want to create a playlist for it to add to in the first place? Let's take a look at that. There is an option to do it from the add to playlist option. I find that a little bit inaccessible.
Library. Get
so
lucky.
Let's go back up to the top. Okay, thank you, phone.
Art, play, edit, playlist, select, library, back.
And by the way, the edit, that lets you readjust the categories into a different order if you want.
Playlists, heading, find in playlist, new playlist, button.
I could do a mini demo just on playlists alone, but if I wanted to create a new playlist...
Cancel, playlist, cap, Q, cap, dub, braille screen input,
okay,
orientation
so the first
locked,
thing I'm going to
landscape,
do is call it...
screen away mode, dot, cap, D, E, M, O, portrait,
we'll call
demo,
it demo.
Cap, E, button, playlist title, text field, is editing, demo.
Let's go back to here.
Camera, button,
if you want to add
button.
a photo to the playlist, you can do so with the camera. I have not done that.
Play, show on my profile and in search, switch button, on.
Do you want it to show on your profile and search? So this means that your playlist can be public or private.
Cap, Q, new playlist, create,
and then
button.
when we're done, we just hit the create button.
Create, cancel, playlists, back button. Collab, more, demo.
And now with the demo under here, I can, let's take a look at this.
Collaboration, button.
If I double tap the collaboration button.
Close, invite people to join. Anyone with the link will be able to edit and reorder songs, and your name and photo will be shown to others. Herbie Allen. Edit, button, approve collaborators, switch button, off. When turned off, anyone with the link will be able to join. Start collaborating, button.
Okay, so I can make this open to collaboration if I wanted. Now, the other thing I will mention here with these playlists
button.
is the way to
Back.
edit them is a little bit interesting, and that's why I said you kind of have to go, I could do a little bit more of a demo just on playlists alone, but you essentially have to go to the edit button and find the track and delete it that way. There's no way to just like swipe down from a track and delete it, and I find that a little bit frustrating myself, but what can you do? The last tab I need to show you is search.
Tab bar.
So there are some things you need to know about how this works.
My account, artists, songs, lyrics, and more. Search field.
So you can search through a number of different categories here just by typing in what you were looking for. But if you do not put anything in the search field, let's go to the right.
Vertical scroll bar. Browse categories. Heading.
You can browse different categories within Apple Music.
Spatial audio. Button. Usher's Road to Halftime. Fitness. Button. Well-being, button. Hip-hop, button. Country, button.
And then you can
White
double
text in
tap
front of
on one of these.
Country, search, back, mini, pop. Next track, Zach Bryan, explicit, button. Getting old. Luke Combs, One Thing at a Time, Morgan Wallen.
And that'll show you different albums under this category.
Search.
Country. Okay, the next thing you need to know about the search is how it works once you actually type something into the field.
Artists, songs, search field, Braille screen input, orientation locked.
So I'm going to go to my Braille screen input.
Screen away mode.
There is no theme song for iBUG today uploaded to Apple Music. So we're going to look for the original one.
SWET Portrait.
Sweet Caroline. Now, here's what you need to know before I actually tell it to search. Let's swipe to the right.
Clear. Cancel. Selected. Apple Music. Button.
So right now it's going to look in Apple Music, but if I wanted to just have it focus on what I've added to the library, I can swipe one more time to the right.
Library. Button. 2 of 2.
So make sure you know where you're searching before you hit the search button, because that could affect your results.
Clear text, search insertion point at start.
And of course you have the clear text button and all that. I'm not going to actually hit the search button. So once you hit the search button, you cannot switch from Apple Music to library. You are locked in to which category you picked until you delete what's in the search field and start all over. So know that about the search.
Top results. Adjustable.
Okay, so now we have a different set of categories here after the search button. So we've got top results.
Artists.
I'm going to swipe up and you just heard it say artists.
Albums. Songs. Playlists. Music videos. Video extras. Profiles.
So I'm going to
play songs.
Have it look through different songs that are titled Sweet Caroline.
Search results. Sweet Caroline. Single version. Neil Diamond. Button. Sweet Caroline. Neil Diamond. Button. Sweet Caroline. Live. Elvis Presley. Button.
And there
Actions
you go.
available.
Those are just some of the results that you'll get when you search that song. But if we switch to albums.
Sweet Caroline. Songs. Albums. Search results. All-time greatest hits. Deluxe version. Neil Diamond. Sweet Caroline. Neil Diamond. Sweet Caroline. Acoustic version. Single. Jennifer Owens. 2012. Sweet Caroline.
So now if I was to double tap on any of these, it would show up the actual album. So if I double tap on the
Search.
Sweet Caroline.
Back button. 1. Brother Loves Traveling. 2. Dig In. 2 minutes. 42. 3. River Runs. New Grown.
And so notice that's also giving me the order of the album, like with the numbers in front of the track. So I know which is track 1, track 2, track 3, and all that. So that is another great thing about Apple Music, is you know where you're at by the number of the track preceding the title. And of course I could just double tap on any track and play it, or do the methods I described earlier to add to the playlist or whatever. Now, here's where Apple Music can get a little bit tricky.
Search.
So
Search result.
I'm going to search for Neil Diamond, the artist, now.
Cancel. Sweet Caroline. In search field. Braille screen input. Orientation locked. Land Sweet. L space J dot D I A F O N D. Keyboard visible. Portrait.
Now that I've searched for Neil Diamond, let's take a look at my top results.
Search results. Neil Diamond. Artist. Button. Neil Diamond Essentials. Playlist. App. Sweet Caroline. Song. Neil Diamond. All-time greatest hits.
So it's showing me different categories that fit Neil Diamond. I can narrow the search results down again by switching categories to artist and all that, but I'm just going to double tap on him.
Search result. Neil Diamond. Heading. Top songs. October 28th, 2000. Button.
So here's what I'm going to get when I double tap on Neil Diamond.
Open in classical. Button.
If you have the classical music app, it looks like you can open him in that.
Favorite. Button. More. Button. Neil Diamond. Heading. Play. Button. October 28th, 2022. A Neil Diamond Christmas. 25 songs. Button.
So
Actions
this
available.
is showing
a poster
his
with text and an image of a person playing a guitar. A Neil Diamond. Christmas.
So what this is showing his most latest release, which goes back to 2022. So that's what you're going to see at the top with many artists. The next thing you're going to see is
Top songs. Button. Heading.
So this is going to show you a few of the top songs, and if you double tap on this button, you'll see even more.
Sweet Caroline. Sweet Caroline. Single version. Cracklin' Rosie. Single Forever in Blue Jeans. You Don't Bring Me Flowers.
So it's telling me the album as well, so let's go here.
Forever in Blue Jeans. You Don't Bring Me Flowers, 1978, button.
So
Actions
that tells
available.
us which album it was and what was released and all that. Now let's go to our next heading.
Heading not found.
Oh, that won't work.
Sweet Girl, Essential Albums, heading.
Ah, this is the tricky one. It's giving us essential albums.
Moods, button. Stones, button. Taproot Manuscript, button. Sweet Caroline, button. Albums, button. Heading.
Now, today it's being nice and actually showing us the albums. Now, what it's going to do here is just show us some of the top albums. So if you want to see a complete list, you have to double tap on this button.
Classic Diamonds with the London Symphony Orchestra, 2020, button. Acoustic Christmas, 2016, button. Classic Diamonds with the London Symphony Orchestra.
You know what? Maybe I want to look at this album later. I don't really want to open it, so let's swipe down.
Explore image. Drag item. Activate default. Activate
nothing I can
Classic
do here.
Diamonds.
So what I can do here is my triple tap with that one finger.
Preview. Play net. Add to library. Button.
Now
Selected.
it's added to my library, and this is one of the
Classic
reasons why I might want
Diamonds
to
with
add
the
stuff
London-
to my library, because I can more easily find it a little bit later on by going to the library tab. Well, that is Apple Music, and I hope this gives you a good idea of how the app works.
All right, Herbie, thank you for the presentation on the music app. Once again, we're going to go ahead and open it up for some questions. As I mentioned before, just state your name. I'll call upon you. At that time, I'll just ask everyone else to stay muted till the conversation comes to an end. And we'll go ahead and open it up for some questions. And you can ask any questions that is on the music app. Herbie, I do have a question. Do you know what is the difference between public and private?
For what? For like playlists?
Yeah, because I heard you say you can select either public or
So
private.
Apple Music does curate a lot of their own playlists that you can add to your library. And then there's also playlists that you can collaborate on with other people, or, playlists that only you can access. And also with the playlists, you can make them so that like people can find them in like search results and things like that, or they cannot. So you have various controls as to what you want to have access. You want to let people have access to.
So does that mean if you have a playlist and you set it public, I would have access to that playlist?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Anyone else have any questions?
This is Farah. I have
Go
a
ahead, Farah. Yeah.
regarding downloaded music, that it happened that when I downloaded after some time, when I went to listen, it says cannot locate that piece of music. I don't know where to find that.
So if that happens, it's because you've deleted the track from your library and it's trying to find the physical. So this is music that you've purchased?
Yes.
And so then you go to play it and it can't find it?
It says that not locate.
That is an interesting, because that's just it should already be in your library.
It is. I mean, when I swipe, it tells me like whatever. Let's say Sweet Caroline, Diamond.
Yeah.
When I tap on it to play, it says not locate that music.
So then, does it give you any options?
No.
So, are you an Apple Music subscriber or not?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so then there's no... that is a situation I would contact Apple about, because that sounds like some kind of bug, because, yeah, if you've purchased it, then it should be showing up in... it should be playable.
So Herbie, what about if he asked Siri to play? Would that have found it?
That's a good question.
So Farah, you might want to try that. Just ask Siri to play whatever music you downloaded from Apple Music.
Does it matter if you downloaded from iTunes or not?
So did you download it like from iTunes to put into your phone, or did you download from iTunes on your phone?
Download from iTunes computer, and as a result, it goes to my phone too.
Okay, so I have not done physical downloads like that in years because of
Yeah, maybe this one she might want to reach out to Apple Accessibility.
I think you need to reach out to Apple Accessibility. What I would do is because you shouldn't have to download it from iTunes, because it should already show up in your purchase history. So you shouldn't have to. I think what's happening is I would delete the downloaded copy from the phone first of all from iTunes, but because it's going to show up in your purchase history, make sure you're signed into iCloud on the same device on both the computer and the phone. And I think that's why it's because it's trying to play a physical file when it should already be able to pull it from the cloud. So I think you created a conflict there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good luck with that, Farah. All right, who's next?
Stan Gowan. I want him to jump in and help Farah a little bit.
Sure, Stan.
If you downloaded it on your computer, and at some point, let's say you got a new phone, you might not have the correct pointer to it anymore on the computer. If it's in iCloud, then it'll find it. But sometimes music that's, say, downloaded onto the computer can't be found by Apple Music if it loses the pointer to it. I don't know. There's a more technically going on, but what you'll probably have to do is double check that you still have it on your computer. And if you do, then I'm not sure what the procedure is for handling it, because I've not done that part either. But I think you can sync. There's a function called sync. You can go ahead and sync the contents of your computer back to your iPhone to correct these problems. But the first thing to do after you call Apple Accessibility is to double check that it's still on your computer.
Stan, when I sync my phone to my computer, doesn't automatically send everything to my phone? I mean, music?
It depends. I haven't done this in a while. There's a way to do a sync where you're essentially backing up your phone to your computer. There's another way to go where you're syncing contents on your computer back to your phone. And I think if you do that, you have the options to go through and check the things that are going to get sent to your phone.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, good luck with that, Farah. I would definitely maybe check with Apple Accessibility on that. All right, thanks, Stan. Who's next?
This is Tammy. I have a comment basically too. The other thing too is that sometimes if you don't, like she's talking about downloaded music, and yes, that was the correct thing. If you go through and you check the contents, you can sync it back to your phone. But the other thing is sometimes a certain song, like I've seen it do unavailable. So like I've added a song to to my library, but I haven't like downloaded it per se. So I've added it to my library, but sometimes if a song gets removed from Apple Music, it will say unavailable. So that one has happened to me before, because it just can't find it because it's not there anymore. And it's not anything I did or it did, it's just removed.
Okay. Well, thank you.
No problem.
Stan Gowan
great
again.
presentation, by the way.
Hold on, Stan. Anyone else?
Sorry.
If I come back to Stan.
This is Sandhya.
Oh, go ahead, Sandhya.
I just wanted to talk about the share feature. That's like one of my favorite features. Like when you create a playlist, and Herbie went through it, and it's like they do have to have Apple Music as well. And then, I mean, I haven't tried the collaboration feature, but it's just fun. If you know somebody that likes your taste of music or want to share something, it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
I'll make sure I tell my daughter to share with you, Sandhya, and you'll enjoy her music.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? If not, I'll come back to Stan. What is it that you wanted to say?
I wanted to say that when music becomes unavailable in Apple Music, it usually happens on the other streaming services as well. And this
Yeah.
isn't people will jump and say, oh, Apple is terrible, it took my music away. No, the record label or the artist took it away, usually the record label. And therefore, what you have to do on some music services that I subscribe to, they give you a way to request that the music be re-added. And again, though, they have to go through and try to convince the record label to put it back. Sometimes these things disappear because when the record label said, hey, you're licensed to play so and such, that license isn't permanent. It isn't indefinite. It can expire.
Good point. Thank you. Who else? Any question on the music app? Did you get Taylor Swift as the right answer?
I have a couple things I'd like to add. This is Stan Gowan again, if I can jump in.
Go ahead, Stan.
For those people who are brand new, the first time you open music, you get a kind of interesting screen. I have a tiny bit of sight, but you can navigate this with VoiceOver, which is what I ended up doing. You get what looks like, maybe in the new version, it's slightly different. You get these red balloons, and you can go through them and either pick genres or artists that you like. So let's say you start and you say you want to hear, you like James Taylor or you like whomever. What this allows Apple to do is to start recommending music to you in the Now Listening tab. And this is a real interesting difference I've found with the Now Listening and the Browse tab. The Browse tab is not generally tailored to your taste. It's just, hey, this is new, or this is the newest Dolby Atmos spatial audio, or these are the new releases in general this week. The Now Listen tab, the music is tailored to your taste. And the more you use Apple Music and select things and play them and either like them or add them to your library, which is essentially the same thing. If you like something, it'll add it to your library. Or because it used to be, rather than the button saying add to library, it used to say like. They changed that 2 versions back in Apple Music. The point is, I and my daughter had been using iTunes since like 1996 or 1997, when she was, still 5 or 6 years old. I started playing music for her out of iTunes. And that long years of stuff carried through. So when I started using Apple Music, it wasn't just my music that I had downloaded that I had access to. It made really good recommendations on what I was likely to enjoy that I hadn't listened to. And this is a plug for Apple Music over and above a lot of the other streaming services. Apple does an incredible job of figuring out what is likely to make you happy. Now, they don't get it right 100% of the time, because I don't think that's possible. But it's a great way to discover new music. And the more experience you have with Apple Music listening to things, the more likely it is to recommend something new that you're going to enjoy. And that's a big deal, because some of the other music services that haven't been around as long don't do as good a job doing
that. This is Sandhya.
Yes, Sandhya.
So regarding the search feature, isn't it possible to search by lyrics, right?
This is Sree. I know I have found sometimes I type in a few words of the song and I found it. There's a large list of it, but when I swipe right through it, I did find it. Herbie, do you have any thoughts on it? Anyone else have any thoughts on it? Well, Sandhya, I know I have done that where I search for like keywords of a song and I did find it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to search by lyrics. So just, look for keywords like Sree said.
All right, like love.
Well, that will give you a lot of songs.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Anybody else? Any questions?
This is Tammy. I've searched by lyrics before too and found it. So.
Okay, yeah. Herbie, have you tried using it as a karaoke type of thing? Because I've never got that to work. Or if anyone else has tried using it.
So, yes, I have done with it. It's an interesting feature. It's not good, but it doesn't let you download the tracks that way. So it's if you want to play around with it, you can remove the vocals, and it does a decent job.
I'm sorry. Does VoiceOver follow the track of the lyrics, or do you have to swipe it?
I don't think you can follow the track of the lyrics. I think you do actually have to swipe it.
Okay.
This is Sandhya.
Yes, Sandhya.
You talked about the track position, moving that within the mini player. That mini player, I don't know, I get really confused in there for some reason. But isn't there a way to tap and hold the fast forward and the rewind, or is that gone? Didn't it used to allow you to do that?
So is that do you have to expand that module to get the play modes, and then because the track indicator doesn't come on until you expand it, right?
Yeah, until you get into the mini player. I think.
The mini player, right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I believe there is some settings I know when it's in the lock screen, I think Herbie kind of mentioned it a little bit, that there is a feature where you can either select increments or seconds, I thought.
Okay.
Herbie, am I wrong in saying that?
I have not found a way to do that.
Okay. All right, thanks. I'll look at that.
I wish there was, actually, but I've not found a way.
Okay. Maybe I'll look at that and maybe bring it up at the buzz call. Anyone else got any questions? We have about 6 minutes left. Ask away. Any questions about the music app? Like it, don't like it? Helpful, not helpful?
Stan Gowan here. I want to say something about it in general.
Sure.
It's also usable. Obviously, it works on a HomePod because that's Apple's device. But one can also set up Apple Music as a music service on, she's in the room here, our favorite lady from Amazon, the Amazon Echo. And you can either set up Apple Music so you can say herself, play Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond from Apple Music, and it will play it from Apple Music as opposed to whatever music service in addition you have, for example, Amazon or Spotify or what have you. Or you can go in and make Apple Music the default music service for the Echo device. Now, there are some serious limitations because Apple doesn't necessarily always play well with the other participants and vice versa. This isn't all on Apple. So, for example, some of my private radio stations, like I have a Stan Gowan station, I can't play that on herself. For some reason, she can't find it. She can't play most of my private playlists. But I have to say that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I think whenever there's an update to the Echo herself software, that can break it or can fix it. Yeah, I know you don't.
Like about the music app, for me, is like when Stan was speaking about listening to the A Lady, it's the fact that I can tell to go forward, play the next song. You know, it works really well on the Amazon devices also.
This is Janet.
Yeah, go ahead, Janet.
Has anybody played with the Radiant app, which is part of Apple? You connect your Apple Music ID to it. Has anybody heard of it?
I think you were the only one who mentioned that. So, anyone on the call know anything about this?
you gotta check out Radiant. It's pretty accessible, and it's kind of like your own personal radio station from Apple.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yep. If I was that good as y'all were, I'd do a demo of it, but I'm not that great. So.
Yeah, you never know.
Michael?
Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, the Vision Pro is supposed to come out February 2nd, and I know Apple Music would be one of the apps available on it. I don't know. Did anybody see any demos on the Vision Pro demos using the music? This
is Sree. I have not seen any music. I've seen a lot of people like watching videos. So
yeah.
But I'm gonna assume like the 3D version of the video. I'm sure the audio is going to be like that too. Yeah, I mean, it's we already have the 3D audio, so.
Yeah, I was curious if they were going to also try to put in some kind of visual kind of effect as the music plays, kind of lava flow kind of stuff and that kind of stuff. If you had different options, I don't know. I'm just making up stuff now. But anyway.
So this is Herbie.
This is Jody.
Yeah, go ahead, Jody, then we'll come to Herbie. Go ahead, Jody.
I was just going to say the only thing I've heard about it is that it's $3,500.
Yep. Starting $3,500.
Starting.
Yeah. All right, Herbie.
It sounds like from what I've read today that you do have to sit through a demo of the Vision Pros before you buy them. So if you're planning on buying them, then you'll be able to ask them questions about Apple Music if they don't already demo that. So
yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it's the first thing in a step of new things coming down the market. So we're coming to the end. So I just want to say, Herbie, thank you so much for doing today's presentation on the music app, and I hope everyone here got something out of it. And thank you for your questions. And this cafe is being recorded, so feel free to listen to it once we get it uploaded onto our different platforms that Sandhya mentioned. Michael and Sandhya, do you guys have any final thoughts?
Great job, Herbie. Way to go.
This is Sandhya. I got it right.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
Taylor Swift. I got it right.
You got it right. And hopefully all of you guys who said Taylor Swift, good job. That's what I was thinking too when I was doing the research, because she's been on headlines for 2020. I think she got, what did she get? The Time Person of the Year or something?
Right. This is Sandhya.
Yeah.
Just all kidding aside, I mean, the music app is so powerful, and I don't know, it like you said in the beginning, it has so many benefits, and definitely encourage people. I wish there was like a free trial version or something that you could try out, or once you get it, you're going to be addicted and you're not going to be able to give it up. So
I know that every time I've got an Amazon device, Apple Music gave me like 3 months. I know I purchased some headphones. It gave me 3 months for free. So, definitely check around.
Okay.
All right. I would say that would be the end of our presentation. Once again, I just want to say thank you to everyone for attending today's cafe. And I look forward to seeing you guys in February for the next cafe.
Yeah, the day before the Super Bowl. Yeah.
That is true. That is true. That is true. Yeah, we did move the cafe to Saturday since Super Bowl is Sunday. We definitely want you to watch Super Bowl, but we also want you to come to our cafe. So we'll have it on Saturday.
Oh, thank you, Sree.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.